Good evening. Welcome to the Glens Common Council meeting. It's Tuesday, October 8th, 2024, 7:30, time for a regular session. We begin tonight with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Councilwoman Palmer.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We begin our meetings with public comments, but we'll start tonight, if we could, with some folks from the Glens Hospital that want to talk to us about some changes made to our recent road work in the emergency room remodeling project. So please.
Good evening, everyone. Angelo Genatino. What we're looking to do is on the Park Street side where the work had just taken place, we need to put a new pole in to be able to support removal of existing poles that are on our property that are going to interfere with the renovation project work out there. I know you guys have all been given information from Jeremy, and you can see the two poles in question that we're looking to remove. His concern was the permeable material and restoration. So one of the things that we've done is we've reached out to the existing people who actually put it in, the contractors for the city, and we're making arrangements with them to put back the materials. We're looking to take out a section of between the two expansion joints so as not to disrupt anything further. We'll remove those both, put in new expansion joints. It's actually 4 panels so that we don't have to cut joints in between. We'll restore the concrete, have that company come in also and do the permeable material after the pole's in. We're looking to put conduits up in there, which is why we have to cross over. So regrettably, the timing didn't coincide with our approval for the exterior work with your work, which is why we have to come and ask for the disruption. But it is our intent to use the contractor to put the permeable down. They assure us that blending it is not a problem, that we'd be able to section out a section. We had offered if we needed to do more to be able to do that, but they seem pretty confident. But in any case, it is our intent to restore it back to your satisfaction.
Is anything underground disturbed in this work?
There is, and that's why we want to also go the extra to the distance, because we're only going to be excavating in front of the pole, but as one of your diagrams, I'm not sure if it shows or not, it actually has the conduit, the pipe and the stone and such for absorption, okay? So by cutting back further, we're not going to disturb ground on each side. We'll pull out, and then we can have that company also put the membrane under and then restore the stone as well.
Is it a culvert underneath there?
It's actually I can share the diagram with you.
So just so you know, in the council packet is just the letter. So you don't have all the material that Jeremy conveyed.
Oh, I apologize. Okay, so it's actually, this was what they built to. So if I may, I'll just share. Okay, so, this is what's being, we're removing this, and this has to be restored, and this is the membrane. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. So we'll be placing this back. This is a conduit, a channelway, so it will collect water, stone. Yeah, essentially. But it's the absorption material has a place to go. Yep, and then go from there. So you've seen that. So this is the concrete and the permeable area.
Yep.
And then what we're looking to do is we'll be excavating to get across into the permeable.
Right.
So we'll have to restore the culvert, basically, the stone around with the membrane and then the concrete walkway. Okay. So if you look at our drawings that we provided, you'll also see that where we're crossing. So by going out to each side, I'm sorry, I'm not talking into the mic. By going a little bit further, like I said, we'll not disturb the ground, and then we can restore easier.
And then will you provide that, whatever you do there, especially underground, you'll provide that information to our city engineer so that our maps can be upgraded so we don't, 50 years down the road.
Oh, correct, yes. Yep, and we're not changing what you've built, we're only restoring it. So we have to remove a section in order to get our conduits up the pole that's going to be placed in. Then we'll be reconnecting the two, putting the membrane, filling it with stone, and then continuing the curb over and the permeable around the pole.
So you're just adding one pole?
Correct.
You're not removing anything, you're just adding an additional?
Right, but in order to get to it, we have to cross,
Right.
yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So you can see on that drawing you have there is where the pole is,
Yeah.
and you can see the detail. This is what it actually looks like. Remember, you have that as well. But this is the sidewalk where the two arrows are is what we're proposing to move between. The area here is where the pole is going. Okay, so we'll come up the conduit and then we'll restore all of this. That pipe and gravel is in this area here. So we'll just restore that and then put the concrete back on top. Yeah.
So it will look like you've never been there.
Yep. Thankfully, it's 45 days old, so it will wear even at the same time next year, you won't even notice it.
And under normal circumstances, the hospital would make this request and Jeremy would approve it and then make sure that they were covering the cost and that it was repaired well. But Jeremy was extra sensitive in this case because we literally haven't made the final payment for this work that's done. And we wanted you guys to know about it because we're likely to get some calls saying, I can't believe that you just spent a couple $1 million to repair this and that it's being torn up. And he wanted us to be aware so we can answer that it's all going to be done correctly. And so sorry, but you literally didn't know, they didn't know from National Grid that this change needed to be made until after it was. Yeah. The rest of the changes to the emergency room, we have worked with the hospital and we've done great work to help them with their renovations and to work with them. And it was just this one change and Jeremy was like, please, come and explain because we knew that there was likely to be some people maybe upset.
There's that word.
Did you say when the new utility pole and underground conduit would take place?
I'm sorry?
Jeremy asked when would the new utility pole and underground conduit work take place?
Pending approval here, we are looking to schedule them for immediate installation.
Okay, and the restoration would take place before November 1st?
That's our goal, yeah.
So if I'm understanding correctly, it sounds like this was a new information, like a surprise that this needed to be done. So the city and the hospital had previously talked about the work we were going to do. And
Yes.
we didn't know that this was going to
So
happen.
we didn't know that they were going to make us put a new pole in. We knew we were going to have to remove the lines, but it wasn't until we started the excavation. They said, no, you have to put it here, and that's what ended up landing us here, because that's not what we discussed last year when we first started looking at the process. But then when we called them out to do it, the engineer for the National Grid came out and basically changed everything that we had originally thought we were going to be doing. So apologize for that. Otherwise, we could have thought that in through the process.
National Grid.
Yeah.
Favorite people.
Well, and I remember this a couple of years ago where we did some work and National Grid came in a few months later and we were like, so
we had a plan.
Yeah. Thank you. We'll now open the meeting to regular public comment. If anybody from the community would like to address the common council, please come to the podium and give us your name and address. Not seeing anybody coming forward. Peter, if we have anybody online, please let us know and if you don't have anybody right now, we'll wait and we can add them to the public comment at the end, okay? Great. So with that, we'll close the public comment and then we'll go to committee reports. Councilman Clark.
The council has been continuing to meet with on our budget for 2025. Our next meeting will be a special meeting at 6 o'clock on Tuesday the 15th to present the budget and get the public input, and then we'll keep that open and pass it at a later date.
Great. Thank you.
Is that going to be here or Mayor's conference room or?
No, right here. We'll be all of us, so we'll be here.
Aren't we going to try to have one meeting before that to talk with the controller about the long-term care?
We
Won't be until after that. he's not able to meet with us about the long-term debt or the question about that until after.
It'll be after we
Yeah.
present the budget.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then we'll have a couple meetings after that to pass the budget, so we have some time.
Okay.
We'll just keep it open until we're ready.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Thank you. Councilman Donahue, committee report.
Sustainability is just where it was the last time,
Okay. Thank you. Councilman Landry, committee report.
Yes, the Labor and Personnel Committee will begin negotiations with the CSEA union, our largest union here in the city, excuse me, starting next week.
Thank you. Councilwoman Palmer, committee report.
The Building and Codes Committee met, we had our public forum at the library on short-term rentals the day after our last council meeting. That went well. We had a sort of small but engaged crowd. We had a good discussion. We got some good information from Warren County Planning that was helpful too. One of the things that was interesting to look at is that the majority of our short-term rentals seem to be located in our residential districts currently, which is not really the trend that we're wanting to see. So we're going to be meeting again tomorrow night, and we're going to talk about kind of next steps, review all the survey responses and all the information we've received, and go from there. And we'll also be talking about continuing our conversation about signs tomorrow as well.
Thank you. Councilman Lambo, committee
And
report.
that's 6 p.m. tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow
And
is.
the second floor mayor's conference.
Yep.
Sorry, Councilman Lambo.
The tech committee met on, I believe it was October 1st, but maybe not October 2nd. It was October 2nd. And we discussed new cameras for the parking garage, more mobile cameras, and the discussion of cybersecurity and some things that were passed along to the city to, determine their, so we have some estimates and we can gather up and decide what we want to do from that.
Great. We're thinking ARPA money. for that, right?
Yeah, so it's cameras for the parking garage and more mobile cameras to set up in different places where we think there might be activity going on that we want to take care of, and also to get some cameras that have license plate readers.
Were they able to come back and say they do have?
Yeah, they have, there's like 3 different options, so I'll get that out to you and Chip.
Awesome.
Chip was unable to make it that time because he had a family emergency.
Great. Hey, thank you so much. And Councilwoman Goodman's out of town this evening, so that's it for committee reports. We have 2 items under the voice vote. One is a resolution to approve the minutes of the September 24th, 2024 meeting of Glens Falls County Council. And 2 is a resolution to approve the clerk's monthly PVB reports as attached.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you very much. Under roll call vote, are there any items that the council would like to pull for discussion?
I would like to pull 15, just because I have a couple questions, nothing too.
And similarly, I'd like to pull 7.
Okay, thank you. Any other polls? If not, we'll move on to roll call vote. Resolution 3 is a resolution to earmark a sum not to exceed $3,500 from the city ARPA money to have CT Mel do a preliminary structural evaluation for the proposed renovation of the clerk's office in City Hall. City hopes to remodel the entryway to the clerk's office with security in mind and free up additional space for common work area. 4 is a resolution to decrease A 11990-9000 contingency by $4,500 and increase A 116780-4327 printing, mail, and postage by $4,500 to fund the mailing needs until the end of the fiscal year 2024. 5 is a resolution to decrease A 119909,000 by $4,800 and increase A 11210-4479 other contracted services by $4,800 to fund video taping and broadcasting of city meetings. 6 is a resolution to increase revenue code A 009999-4089 general government aid ARPA by $7,276 and increase budget expense code appropriation A 210-4479 other contracted services by $7,267 to repair and refurbish all City of Glens Falls welcome entrance signs. 7 is pulled. 8 is a resolution to increase revenue code A 009999-4089 general fund government ARPA by $8,969.29 to increase budget expense code appropriation A 23120-2060 protection equipment by $8,969.29. These are to replace body armor vests for the police department. 9 is a resolution A 009999-4089 other government aid ARPA by $25,000, increase A 11620-4428 building property maintenance by $25,000 to purchase 3 security doors for the Glens Falls Police Department. 10 is a resolution to increase revenue code A 009999-4089 general government aid ARPA by $11,863.71 and to increase budget expense code appropriation A 23120-4353 motor vehicle supplies by $11,863.71 to equip 2 new police department cruisers. 11 is a resolution that authorizes community development manual payments in the amount of $8,070 to CT Mail, Flatley Reed, and Newell and Klingville costs related to Adirondack Gateway Home Ownership Program. 12 is a resolution to approve mobile food unit license number 43-2024. 13 is a resolution to approve encroachment permit number 69-2024, Glens Falls Hospital, 100 Park Street, to remove and replace a portion of the sidewalk located on Park Street in order to replace a National Grid pole from October 9, 2024 to October 23, 2024, based on approved layouts in compliance with the PROAG regulations and following the city engineer standard requirements. 14 is a resolution to approve encroachment permits 67-2024 and 68-2024 based on approved layouts in the compliance with PROAG regulations and following the city standard requirements. 15 is pulled. 16 is a resolution to approve the warrant. Do we have a motion for a roll call vote?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second?
Roll call vote, please.
Councilman Lars Clark.
Yes.
Councilman Donahue.
Yes.
Councilman Landry.
Yes.
Councilwoman Howard.
Yes.
And Councilman Michaels.
Yes.
Thank you. 7 was pulled for discussion. Resolution to approve the enlistment of SWBR for design services at 36 Elm Street, the amount not to exceed $5,000 to be paid by city ARPA funding.
I was just curious if that is, configured in with the DRI funding that we approved, the council approved last council meeting. So in the budget for it was like, we increased it from 10 million to 13.5-ish.
Yeah, it's actually 14 and a half-ish. Yes, sir. I think it was 11 that started out. Go ahead, Jeff.
Sure.
Maybe, yeah, I was gonna say, maybe I'll ask my question
Sure.
while you're here.
This one,
Let her ask first.
oh, I'm sorry, I was just going to.
Just because they're the same, so you don't have to repeat yourself. My only question was, I was looking at what the council approved at the last meeting, and I see the list here of all the expenses. And then, but I wasn't sure of these expenses, what had actually been spent versus what was just budgeted. So when I saw resolution 15, I wasn't sure if that was covered under what we approved
It
last
is.
time, or if it was additional.
No,
Yeah.
the number 15 actually is. That was included. There was a change order they already asked, so we had submitted that in the budget that we advised there. So that is already accounted for in the budget that you passed 2 weeks ago.
Okay, so it's nothing.
Correct. There's nothing new
Okay.
about that one. Some of the work had to be done to accommodate the schedule of doing the pocket park previous to the completion of the market center. So that one is included.
Okay.
The one Councilman Lappin was talking about is not. And that was sort of prompted by the desire to look at it was actually raised by Claudia Bramer in the last meeting that what was noted is that the council, or the building now, the lease now includes the entire basement. So one of the things we've been talking about was that there may be some real opportunities for some primary storage. I know that conversation's come up many times about opportunities for sort of storage for revenue. Because this is something that probably could have been included if we got the CFA, that this sort of modest request for the design. The problem is now that they're already beginning the work in there. And so what the mayor and I had talked about was enlisting a small amount of money to SWBR, who was the architect for the Market Center building, for 36 Elm, right? I'm sorry, Market Square building, or whatever we want to call it now. So that they could sort of look at some preliminary design alterations that we might want to make for better access to the basement. So theoretically, it could wait until December if we found that out, but we're now looking at 3 months. And given the time crunch, I think the council has indicated we don't want to wait. So we're not going to go too far down that road, but things like elevator access, stairway access, how much storage you can get. We had never planned to have, even in informal conversations, we didn't know we might be looking at having the entire almost 4,500 square feet down there. Thank you.
Thank you. If there are no further questions, 7 is a roll call vote resolution to approve the enlistment of SWBR for design services at 36 Elm Street in an amount not to exceed $5,000 to be paid by city ARPA funding. Do we have a motion for a roll call vote?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Councilman Larchpark,
Yes.
Councilman Donahue,
Yes.
Councilman Landry,
Yes.
Councilwoman Palmer,
Yes.
and Councilman Lemon.
Yes.
And 15 is a resolution, roll call vote resolution, to authorize the division architects to revise the design elements of the DRI Pocket Park as needed to meet the compressed project schedule for a cost not to exceed $15,000. Council instructs the Economic Development Office to coordinate with Envision and ensure that all revisions are in alignment with the original vision of the Pocket Park and comply with DRI guidelines. Do we have a motion for a roll call vote?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Councilman Larchpark,
Yes.
Councilman Donahue,
Yes.
Councilman Landry,
Yes.
Councilwoman Palmer,
Yes.
and Councilman Lemon.
Yes.
Old business, Councilman
I
Clark.
have none.
Councilman Donahue.
None at this time.
Councilman Landry.
No, full business.
Councilwoman Palmer.
No old business.
Councilman Lapp.
No old business.
New business, Councilman Clark.
I'm probably going to take some of Councilman Landry's thunder, but speaking of thunder, no pun intended, went and picked up my season tickets on Sunday, and it was an incredible crowd. Just a lot of energy. Heritage Hall is beautiful. Everyone's excited for what hopefully will be another successful season. We have a preseason game coming up on Friday night, and then we get underway after that. So exciting times, and looking forward to a crowded arena and a crowded downtown. So, sorry, Councilman Landry.
That's good.
Thank you. Councilman Donahue, new business, sir.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Councilman Landry, new business.
Thank you, Mayor. And hats off to our police and fire department who responded to a house fire on 4th Street a little over a week week ago. They faced not only a working structure fire, but found upon arrival a resident of the building who was in full cardiac arrest. And where we provide EMS, and we had all of our firefighters and police officers trying to save somebody's life and try to prevent their house from burning down. They addressed both situations quickly and professionally. This is when our public safety personnel show their professionalism in the worst of situations, and that's the worst of situations. So again, my hats off to them. Secondly, October is fire prevention month, so make sure your furnaces are operating properly when you turn them on, and also check your smoke and CO detectors to make sure they're operating properly. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Councilwoman Palmer, new business.
I was looking on the city website for the open pickup schedule for fall, for the leaf pickup, and I see that there is something posted that says that fall open pickup starts October 14th and ends November 25th. I didn't see us put anything like any, normally we put out like a
Flyers and signs. too.
something, that's just what's on the website. But I also noticed, so I just wanted to double check that that was correct, but I also noticed that it again, it identifies pickup in relation to wards. And remember, we had this issue last year that the DPW picks up based on our old wards because that logistically makes sense, right? I mean, it doesn't make sense for them to be, it would be,
Meandering.
yeah, it would not be efficient to be trying to follow our new ward boundaries. But as we explain to the public when to expect pickup, we have to find a way to explain it to them. So I just wanted to, I think last year, Paul created a map of some kind.
Yeah, maybe we could do an overlay of the
Yeah.
old wards on top of the new wards.
I think we even have that.
Don't
we? did,
Yeah, I think that we got, the county gave
Okay.
us a map to show us the overlay at one point. That's right, we did.
Yeah. So I just want to make sure we put that out there because that's, people might want to know that this weekend they should, you know, rake their leaves.
Get out there and start raking.
Starts on the 14th, but also just let's make sure we explain the schedule.
Great, so I'll make sure,
Yeah.
follow up with both Paul and Tom to make sure that is the thing and that we get the right map. You're right, we had a good one.
Yeah.
That, you know, I think we just need to call it neighborhoods and show the colors and just take off the names of what was the ward and make sure we get it out. And so both, not just on the website, but
That
cities
is
and
kind of fun, is we name the neighborhood.
yeah, there was a great thing when I was visiting Ireland that they had competitions between little communities about cleaning or decorating in the neighborhoods, and like a competition. And you noticed it because it said the winner of Northern Ireland's neighborhood clean neighborhood thing, and so I thought the same thing. We could maybe name them and maybe have people start to identify and do projects within them. So, thank you.
And then the only other new business is that I reported on this last time too, but I'll be hosting a third ward community forum on the 16th of October at the Bell House Inn with my county supervisor colleague Nancy Turner, and that'll be from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m.
Will refreshments be provided?
Nancy.
Yes.
Will Nancy provide refreshments?
Nancy did say she would put some stuff out. We haven't always
I'm
provided
just
refreshments,
kidding,
but
she's
maybe,
got
you
good
know,
stuff, so.
if not for the information, come for the snacks.
Always find people with food.
Mhm.
And that's the 16th?
Yeah, October 16th, 5:30 to 6:30, Bell House Inn.
Great. And that's just a neighborhood meeting, so we can also send out a press release to support
Yeah.
that.
Sure, yeah.
Attendance, right?
That's great, yeah.
So I'll make sure that happens.
Yep.
Thank you. New business, Councilman Lapo.
I've got nothing.
Okay, thank you. Under new business, I'll also mention again that Friday, the 18th of October, City Park is the Special Olympics fall games here at City Park. And then Saturday, all day, is 1,100 athletes and coaches will be competing in 7 different sports throughout Warren and Saratoga counties, most of them located in Glens Falls or Queensbury, but a few, I think, equestrian is at Skidmore College in Saratoga County. I visited the city, Glens Falls Middle School today to see the Special Olympics competition for bocce against Lake George, and I do believe Glens Falls won, but they didn't brag, so that was very good. There was great camaraderie among the athletes in getting the photos and family members, and there's 2 more competitions coming up. I'll let you know. I'll send you an email just so you know when they are. Glens Falls will be playing against Queensbury, I think, next week, which should be a great rival in the making. And I think Lake George has 1 more. And I want to thank former Mayor Hall for letting me know. Special Olympics didn't necessarily notify me because I don't work with them anymore. So it was great. That's all I had for new business. Councilman Clark beat me to the punch that 1 week from tonight is the presentation of the budget. And then on the 22nd, at the second council meeting, is when we will have that budget be open for public comment for another 2 weeks before a November vote is to be had. That's the schedule that I know Chip has sent out to all of you, and wanted to make sure. I believe there's public comment or public notice of those, but just wanted to mention it one more time so everybody's aware. I think that is it. We'll open back up for public comment. Does anybody from the community like to address the common council? Not seeing anyone coming forward. Peter, anybody online? No? With that, we will go accept a motion to go into executive session to discuss a complaint brought against a public officer and discipline of the public officer, not to reconvene into open session tonight. No resolutions or anything will be passed. Do we have a motion to go into executive session?
I'll make a motion to go into executive session, and after we're done with our business, make a motion to go out of executive.
A second.
Thank you, and we are adjourned.